Rain lashed against the glass walls of Willow Cafe, a warm escape tucked between two skyscrapers in downtown Chicago. Emma Carter sat at a corner table, her hands trembling as she stirred a cup of untouched cappuccino. Her long hair fell over her face, partly hiding her frustration. Across from her, the last of her courage dissolved like sugar in coffee. Today was supposed to be perfect. She had spent weeks planning a surprise for her ex-boyfriend's engagement party, a graceful reappearance, a calm smile, and the unspoken message, "I'm fine without you." But fate had other plans. Her so-called plus one, the model she'd hired for the evening, had just canceled, an hour before the event. "Of course he did," she muttered bitterly, checking her phone for the 10th time. Just then, the cafe door opened and a gust of wind followed a young man in a rain-soaked uniform. He was carrying a paper bag that bore the logo of Quick Dash Deliveries. His face was unfamiliar, yet there was something magnetic about him, an effortless calm in the way he smiled at the receptionist. "Order for Emma Carter?" he asked, scanning the room. She raised her hand weakly. "That's me." He walked over, his shoes squeaking on the wet floor. "Large fries, one brownie, and an existential crisis?" His voice carried warmth, teasing enough to make her smile for the first time that day. She laughed despite herself. "The last one's complimentary, huh?" "I'd say that one's universal," he said, placing the bag on the table. "Rough day?" Emma looked at him for a moment. His damp hair, the raindrops on his lashes, the easy smile. An absurd idea flickered in her mind. "Actually," she began hesitantly, "you could help me fix it." He tilted his head. "Oh? How?" Emma took a deep breath. "Be my boyfriend, for a day." The delivery guy blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" "You see, my ex is getting engaged tonight. Everyone will be there. Friends, co-workers, clients. I can't show up alone," she said hurriedly, half embarrassed. "I just need someone believable. You look normal, approachable, real." He chuckled softly. "Normal? That's a new compliment." She blushed. "You know what I mean." He hesitated, running a hand through his hair. "You're asking a stranger to pretend to be your boyfriend. That's quite a leap of faith." "Please," she said, her eyes wide, pleading, "I'll pay you double your shift's worth." Just tonight. Just pretend. Something about her desperation, mixed with honesty, disarmed him. He could have walked away, but something deeper, something unspoken, kept him there. He extended his hand. "I'm Ethan Blake." "Emma," she said, shaking it, her heart thudding with both relief and curiosity. "All right, Emma," Ethan said with a grin. "Let's make your ex regret it." 2 hours later, Emma stood beside Ethan at the grand ballroom of Carter Enterprises, her father's company, the empire she was supposed to inherit one day. The chandeliers sparkled like captured stars. Laughter and perfume filled the air. As they walked in, heads turned. Ethan, now in a crisp black suit Emma had borrowed from her father's wardrobe department, looked every bit the charming, mysterious boyfriend. His confidence was effortless, his posture regal. "Wow," she whispered. "You clean up shockingly well." He smirked. "You say that like it's a surprise." They entered the hall, and Emma's ex, Ryan Mitchell, froze mid-conversation. His fiancée, polished, poised, perfectly shallow, clutched his arm, her smile faltering slightly. The look on Ryan's face was priceless. "Emma," he said stiffly, "didn't expect to see you here." "Why wouldn't I come?" she replied smoothly. "It's a celebration." And I wanted to introduce someone. She turned toward Ethan, who slipped an arm around her waist with practiced ease. "Ryan," Ethan said, extending a hand. "I've heard so much about you." Ryan's jaw tightened. "I can't say the same." "Ah," Ethan said lightly. Then I suppose I'm winning already. Emma stifled a laugh as Ryan's fiancé pulled him away. Ethan leaned closer. How'd I do? Too well, she murmured, trying not to smile. You're scarily good at this. Fake dating experience, he whispered, strictly professional. But even as he joked, Ethan couldn't help noticing how her laughter seemed to light up the room. For someone trying to impress an ex, she carried herself with fragile grace, like someone still rebuilding from heartbreak. Hours passed, and the party shimmered around them. Ethan played the role perfectly. Protective hand on her back, affectionate glances, easy laughter. He fit into the world of wealth and glamour as if born for it, though his delivery uniform told another story. Between conversations, Emma caught herself studying him. He didn't gawk at luxury like most outsiders would. He spoke to executives like equals, listened more than he talked, and when he did, his words carried quiet confidence. "Who are you, really?" she asked softly as they stood by the balcony overlooking the city lights. He smiled faintly. "Just a guy who delivers fries." "Sure," she teased. "And I'm secretly the Queen of England." "Your Majesty," he said with a bow, earning another laugh. She sighed, gazing at the skyline. "You know, I thought tonight would destroy me. But I'm actually having fun. Maybe because you stopped performing," he said. "You're not here to prove something anymore. You're just being you." Her chest tightened. "That's scary, isn't it?" "Only until you realize you were never meant to fit anyone else's version of you," he said softly. "Especially not someone who left." She looked at him, truly looked. And for a moment the noise faded. She saw kindness, depth, and something unspoken in his eyes. It wasn't part of the act anymore. Near the end of the evening, an elderly man in a tailored suit approached them. Emma's father, Mr. Carter, founder and CEO of Carter Enterprises. "Emma, darling," he said warmly, "so lovely to see you smiling again. And this must be—" "Ethan," she said before Ethan could speak. "My, boyfriend." Mr. Carter's gaze sharpened. "Ethan, you said?" Ethan nodded politely. "Pleasure to meet you, sir." Mr. Carter smiled faintly. "I know that name. You look familiar." Emma frowned. "You do?" Before anyone could reply, a company director hurried over. "Sir, the investors from London are waiting to meet your son in the lounge." Emma blinked. "Your son?" The director froze. "Oh, I thought you meant Mr. Ethan Blake." Emma's world tilted. She turned slowly to Ethan. He sighed, a small apologetic smile on his lips. "Surprise?" Her mouth fell open. "You're the heir to my father's company?" "In my defense," he said sheepishly, "you never asked what kind of deliveries I make." She stared at him, stunned. "You let me think you were a delivery guy?" "Well, technically, I do deliver things, results, reports, mergers." He chuckled softly. "Tonight, emotions." When the party ended, they stood outside beneath the soft rain again, silence stretching between them. Emma's mind swirled with confusion, embarrassment, and something deeper, admiration. "So, you knew who I was?" she asked quietly. He shook his head. "Not until I saw your father. I took the delivery shift myself to check on one of our franchise partners downtown. The cafe was just coincidence." "Coincidence?" she repeated. "You're telling me the heir to my company just happened to walk in when I was begging for a fake boyfriend?" He grinned. "Maybe fate delivers faster than quick dash." She wanted to be angry, but she couldn't. The absurdity of it all melted into laughter, soft and genuine. "You must think I'm insane." "I think you're brave," he said. "You faced humiliation, heartbreak, and still walked in there with your head high. That's not insanity, Emma. That's strength." Her throat tightened. And you? Why'd you agree? He looked at her, rain glistening in his hair. Because for once, someone saw me as a person, not a position. You didn't know who I was, and you still trusted me. That's rare. Weeks passed. Their strange encounter turned into coffee dates, walks in the park, and endless conversations about everything from business ethics to bad puns. Ethan, though born into privilege, carried humility like armor. Emma, though scarred by love, began to open her heart again. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the Chicago skyline, they met again at Willow Cafe, the place where it all began. You know, Emma said, smiling over her cup, I used to think love had to be planned, polished, perfect. But the best thing that ever happened to me was completely unplanned. Ethan reached across the table, his fingers brushing hers. I used to think people only loved me for what I could give them. But you asked me for something no one ever did, a chance to just be. She laughed. You mean a fake boyfriend job? He smirked. Best internship I've ever had. They both laughed, the sound soft and honest. Months later, Emma stood in front of the Carter Enterprises boardroom, her presentation glowing on the big screen. She spoke with passion and clarity, no longer hiding behind hesitation. Ethan sat quietly among the executives, watching with quiet pride. Her proposal was simple, yet revolutionary. Expanding delivery partnerships to empower small businesses, giving opportunities to those who, like her once, felt unseen and underestimated. When the applause came, it wasn't just for her idea. It was for her transformation. Afterward, Ethan joined her on the terrace outside. You were brilliant, he said softly. I had a good teacher, she replied, and an even better believer. He smiled, taking her hand. You know, when you asked me to be your boyfriend for a day, I didn't realize it would last a lifetime. She looked up at him, eyes shining. Guess the delivery came right on time. He laughed, pulling her into his arms as the city lights shimmered below them. And as the wind carried the scent of rain and hope, Emma realized that love, real love, wasn't about perfect timing or grand gestures or corporate titles. It was about two souls meeting by accident and deciding that fate's mistakes were the most beautiful miracles of all.